first thing I want to talk about is the new OLED panel we're bringing in the 908. It's the third generation Meta panel from LGD, and it has a new lens, micro lens array, and it also has a Meta booster and a new polarizer. So the micro lens will take care of better luminance, 70% improvement in luminance. So the peaks are now up to 2,100 coming from 1,200. Full white, we're going from 200 to 250 and not full white. The micro lens array also helps in the viewing angle. Viewing angle 60% improved. So half luminance drop is now not anymore there at 160. The Meta Booster is an algorithm inside the panel that on top of our P5 picture processing, where it is possible with the panel to boost more detail, more bright pictures, better colors, to do that based on image analysis. And the polarizer is also changed to a Vonta black polarizer, it's called. The reflection, the specular reflection, is 70% down, and in a minute in the demo you will be able to see that with your own eyes.
Danny, is there any difference between the original LG panel and yours?
And
is there any difference between the original LG panel and yours?
Ours is the original LGD panel, but the original, I mean the new original, the Meta panel. So LGD panel, like it is in full glory, Meta panel is inside our TVs, and we are connecting it to our P5 picture processing. So in terms of lenses, like the panel claims, 42 billion lenses. Those 42 billion lenses make sure that this MLA filter makes sure that there is less internal reflection in the panel, and therefore all the light that is produced from the OLED layer is almost all of that light is getting out of the panel, improving the luminance by 70%. The lenses, the form of the lenses is like the ones of a dragon fly eye, and those help not only in more luminance but also in improving the viewing angle. The Meta Booster will, for certain pictures based on analysis, boost even the brightness up and also the color volume up. And the Vonta Black is really now almost no reflections anymore, while our current panel, and you will see that, was showing some reflection, but now almost no reflection anymore, without the downside of normally with lower reflection means that blacks become again washed out. I showed you that in Berlin what happened with the quantum dot. In our case we have less reflection now, but no downside as to washed out pictures. In terms of picture processing, we're going for 7th generation P5. So the detail is now again much improved. Edges are also more clear. This is already coming in the 8508 range, so the new 50 Hz one. From there on we get the P5 engine with the new super resolution. So 8508, the 8808, the 100 Hz one range will have the same feature, the mini LED range and the OLED range. So everything from 8508, from the lowest one and up, gets this feature. For the lowest one, we we have a real new feature, which is actually called, in case of 55 inches, it's called dual line gate. Everything of 65 inch and above, it's called hardware super resolution. What it does, it doubles the refresh rate of the picture, of the panel. And so this feature works especially for in a 50 Hz one range. So with a 50 Hz display, we are capable of doubling the refresh rate of the panel, and therefore getting much smoother motion, also reducing latency, because this feature originally was designed to have better gaming experience, because in gaming fast motion is quite is a lot of times there, but also this feature can be applied for sports, for also fast moving sports. Now, with a 50 Hz TV, if you double the refresh rate, something else needs to go down, because yeah, it has to be a compromise. It's only a 50 Hz TV, and what the vertical resolution is cut by half. It's cut by half in this dual line gate. It's a little bit better in the hardware super resolution. As you see there, the interpolation between the lines is not exactly that, just taking over the previous line, so therefore dropping one line, but it does a calculation of the different lines and keeps a bit more vertical resolution. Nevertheless, I will show you this feature in a minute, and you will see that the gain in motion sharpness is a lot more than the tiny bit you lose from your cutting your resolution by half. It's hardly visible. So a big win for this product. And then I'm coming to the OLED range, which the entire OLED range gets a new light sensor, an RGB light sensor, where it accurately measures the light in your living room. For instance, the example here in the left picture is a room with quite some warm light in that room. Look to the wall, it's pretty warm, 3000 Kelvin. And look at the picture inside the TV, the white plate is also getting, the whiting is also getting warm. The other extreme, the room is very cool, 15,000 degrees Kelvin. The wall is almost bluish, while the white tint of the plate also follows that tint and becomes quite bluish. So basically, last year's ambient intelligence, we introduced eye care, we introduced dark detail optimization and color temperature optimization. The two first ones remain still there, performing as they were, performing equally good. The color temperature optimization is now dropped. That one was measuring light luminance, and based on the light luminance, low luminance meant a dark room. We went for a warmer tint. More light in your room, we went for a more cooler tint. That was on assumptions. Now it's exactly measuring the color temperature of the room and does the exact match. So that's now 1, 2, and the fourth one are now the ambient intelligence version 2. All 100 Hz TVs will get Dolby Vision 4K 120 Hz, except for the mini LED range. The mini LED range, which is also 100 Hz, but comes with a different platform, is staying at 4K 60 Hz. But the 18808 and the entire OLED range is doing Dolby Vision 4K 120 Hz. And then, as a spin-off of the Google TV, we are also in line with that, worked out a new UI, which is doing a lot less screen pollution. You see here a perfect example of that. Old UI was covering the whole screen. Same menu or same functionality, and the new menu now is covering less than half of the picture. For instance, if you take another example, one-to-one, selecting smart picture mode, in the old days was covering just a little bit less than half of the picture. In the new situation, it's a strip in the bottom where you go cursor left, right through your various smart picture modes, and a lot less screen pollution. If you take, for instance, when you go into calibration and you would like to adjust, calibrate your white points, red, green, and blue. In the old days, this was the amount of picture you were covering. That's already less now in the new UI, but moreover, what is even more important is that when in the old UI you wanted to go from red calibration to green, you had to go always back to this big screen polluting menu. Now in that one you can stay in this minimal UI. Cursor left right will change the value of the level. Cursor up down will go through the different adjustments, so you can easily go back and forth from one to the other calibration color without having to go always back to a big screen polluting menu. And last one I would like to mention is going into the picture menu was quite some steps in the old days. Still that is there in the new one. So going to frequent settings, to all settings, to picture settings. But now with the new UI, there is besides that one, a faster one, which is pushing the home button for 2 seconds, and you come into that menu, which you see there on the right, and then right away you have the picture option there, push, and you're inside the picture menu right away. Okay, this is a bit of the background. Let's move to the demos. First demo I'm going to do here. So the same picture as in my slide. Now I'm going to show you with some quite clear colors in the room. So for instance, if I make it red and I go into the picture menu, color optimization is on. If I switch it off, you'll see it jumps back to the native white point of the panel. And if I switch it on with this red, you get a dish that the white then goes into the reddish part. If you, for instance, change the wall to green, then on the whole room, let's say, you get a greenish tint. If I switch it off again, it goes to the native point. Now it goes to that green. Same goes for the other extreme, the blue one. The blue 5. Which now it goes to native white point, and now it goes still a little bit full. The native point is already quite full. I'll take that off and show you a moving picture. And I'll change a few times now from green or from any color, you'll see that it adapts, but it does that very gradually. When I do it in the menu on off, you see it right away jumping from one to the other. In this case, if I go from one to the other, it will go much more gradually. So it's not a feature that is constantly there, switching from one to the other. There is quite some hysteresis in switching to the right or following the ambient of the room. But we pause again here, so blue, let's go to red. So now the building looks a bit bluish. If I go to red, you will see the white elements in the building get much more warmer or green.
May I ask where the sensor is located? Because if you have ambilight on, the colors of the wall will be changing too.
The sensor is here, and it will not, the ambilight is not influencing that light sensor, but it's the vice versa. The light sensor, of course, will, as you saw, affecting your picture, and that picture will then slightly change a bit your ambient light behind the TV. That's also only very small portions.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's move over to another demo. And that's the 908 new panel I would like to show you. So this TV here is the 907. This one here is a 908. And already now I think you can see the reflection that I was talking about, which is far less. Of course, you need to sit a little bit in the middle to really do a good comparison of reflection. People sitting there on the sides might still think this one is reflecting very much, and then I'll invite you to stand in the middle and you will see that get that one away. Okay, but the reflection is one thing. I think this one is another thing. This one is a 70% more luminance. This is the 2100 nit peaks, 250 nit light versus 200 in the other one. Both are in their vivid settings, they are crystal clear settings. So the highest possibility of driving the light. Well, you can go just a little bit higher, but we don't go for the maximum, even in our crystal clear. You will have a picture. Okay, now let's move to moving pictures. And you already saw the reflection, but let me go one other picture that not on full white, full black, sorry, but even just this picture, and you'll notice the peaks, and you'll notice the lowest reflection. So this is our new 908 coming in the second half of the year. Okay, then I'll move to the back of the room. And here I have the first TV is the current 8507, so it's the 2K22 TV as a reference to show you the super resolution of the 7th Gen P5, which is inside, so this is the successor, the second TV, 8508, 8507, 8508. So, for instance, in this picture, when you're watching to the tail behind the boat, to the water clutches on the lake, they're much more clear, much sharper than in the 2K22 model because of super resolution. So again, both TVs are in their vivid settings. The best this TV can do, and this TV now the best he can do with super resolution. For instance, here the text readability, because of the clear edges, is so much more than on the left. I would like to mention this is LED, so viewing angle is an issue in that part of the range, is far below in performance to OLED, so it might again be that when I say this is supposed to be sharper, you don't see that. It's probably because of viewing, but I think most of you are sitting beautifully in front of it, so you can nicely experience that TV is always looking more sharp than the left one. And that is thanks to super resolution. And there is this one other feature I was talking about, which is DLG or HSR, which is actually doubling the refresh rate of the second TV compared to this one remains at 50 Hz. That one becomes 100 Hz and becomes more sharp. Do you see that? I don't think so, because it's not on yet. Sorry for challenging you. But if I switch it on,
You are proving them.
Ultra motion clarity was off. If I will switch it on, now you should see much more motion sharpness than on that one. Complete sharper picture in motion. Although, as I mentioned, the vertical resolution in that TV is dropped. The horizontal or the refresh rate is doubled. So yes, there is a lot more motion sharpness, and it's hardly visible that we are dropping the vertical resolution of that TV. Is this as good as real 100 Hz? I have to be honest. I can show you. Because if I put this TV on the same source, this is an 8808. Here you see a real 100 Hz. It's a huge step, very close to what real 100 Hz. You huge step from 50 Hz, but it's not exactly the same as a real 100 Hz. So it comes very close, you only need to pay for a 50 Hz TV to get this performance, so it's a good option. If you want to go for the best motion, sharpness, then you still need to go to one real 100 Hz. Okay, that was it.